Right, this is the first scene of my zombie Lego level. Starting off in the graveyard. That's just acting as a tutorial session. Jumping over the gravestones. Finds two very simple enemies. One melee hit to defeat, and then next part is climbing up the scaffolding into the side of the church. Okay, this is the second part of the first stage. After jumping in through the scaffolding on the roof of the church, our player jumps down off onto the altar, onto the floor, and he's met with his first mini-boss, the Vicar. The Vicar has set paths around the stalls of the church, in and through, and can only attack the player through melee. After defeating the Vicar, our player then carries on through the church onto the next stage. Right, this is stage 2, part 1. Player starts at the end of the street, has to jump over the obstacles, postbox in the car, and then he is, once he gets past the car, he's given an alert warning where he will have to dodge the car that comes racing down the street. The only way he can do this is by jumping back onto the guy he just come from. But obviously if he gets hit by the car he will die, and the checkpoint will be at the start of the level. After that he must defeat one weak simple enemy, just one small villager, one melee hit to defeat it, and then enters the public house. Right, this is the next part of stage 2 inside the pub. Player has to jump over the table obstacles, defeat the two simple enemies, and then he progresses to the kitchen. There's also a hidden health behind the bar, but it is not necessary for the story progression. And he goes into the kitchen for the next part. Right, the next part of stage 2 takes place in the kitchen of the pub. The player here must defeat the chef. The chef has a knife, so it makes him impossible to attack from ground level. Therefore the player must jump from any of the 3 kitchen work surfaces onto the chef's head. I think you have to do this twice. And then there's also a hidden turkey leg within the oven. That's a one-use item. And it carries on to the pub landlord's office. Right, the final room of stage 2, where the player starts in the landlord's office, just having come up the stairs. Being a mini-boss, the landlord will throw bottles at the player, which he must dodge. Once he's thrown 3, the landlord will take a short break as if out of breath. The player can then attack. He must do this twice to defeat the boss. If he tries to attack like in between the bottles being thrown, the landlord will push him back with his massive belly. And then after defeating the landlord, it's on to stage 3. Right, this is stage 3. The player starts outside the reception of the school, wanders in to find another simple enemy which he has to defeat, the receptionist. And the next part, he finds himself in a corridor. There's a closed door here, and there's going to be 2 small rooms at either side, one with a health, one with a turkey leg. And in this corridor there is a new enemy called the dog, which uses hit and run attacks. So it'll run back and forth through the corridor trying to hit the player. The player is able to jump over this, but to defeat the dog, the player has to hit the door open with his spade, and then so that the dog will run into it, and then the player can then defeat the dog and carry on into the classroom for the next part. Right, this next part of stage 3 is when you enter the classroom. The player is met with an obstacle, a pile of tables, for which he must jump off the tables, onto the cupboards, off to the tables, onto the light fitting, and over. Right, and further along inside the classroom, the player will find the next mini-boss, the teacher, who will proceed to throw books at the player, for which he must dodge. And when he finds an opportunity, throw a turkey leg in the direction of the teacher to destroy the desk. After destroying the first desk, she'll fall back to the second, and then repeat this, which falls back to the third, repeat this, and then it's just one melee hit to defeat her. And then on to stage 4. Right, this is the last stage of the level, stage 4, which is essentially just a end level boss fight. You enter the reception, and behind the reception desk there is a turkey leg and health, one of each. And as you enter the main office, there are 6 cubicles and your main rival, the boss, the Big Cheese. Underneath 2 of these cubicles are healths, and underneath another 2 are turkey legs. And yeah, when you're fighting the boss, he has 2 attacks. He'll start by charging at the player, wherever he may be, running through the cubicles, destroying them. If he destroys them, then the turkey leg or health gets revealed. And then when he hits the wall or other side of a solid object, the player can do damage to him. And then the player must do this 3 times. And that's it, that's the level. Hope you enjoyed.